Welcome to our annual Holders Media Briefing with Stuart Collins, the Artistic Director of the Holders season. Yes. And I, Adisa Andrea, who is the sort of production consultant for the season. We usually do this press briefing here amongst all the hammering and the painting and the preparation for the Holders season, which blasts off on this Friday here at the Holders Garden Theatre, and we ran right through to next Saturday. So we're moving from the 11th to the 19th of March. This is our 23rd edition, and it is the shortest edition, I think, over the last 23 years, but it is also the most energetic, I think, because everything is concentrated really in a matter of 8 days. So I mean, I'm looking forward to this, and there's a wide cross section of artists from the United States, from the UK, from Cuba, from United States, and here from Barbados. I will sort of give a rundown of the local artists after, but I want to go straight in to Stuart Collins and let him sort of give the overview of the 2016 season.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We're just 48 hours from starting off this year's event, 23rd years of the Holders season, which is really quite something, because it's a festival that's been running a very, very long time now, and it's now got a fantastic tradition and a fantastic reputation. I think largely because of this fantastic space we're sitting in here at Holders House. You know, the Wendy Kidd's beautiful Holders property is the most wonderful setting, and the most magical place for any kind of performance, and that's what we have done over many years. We've been doing different types of performance involving lots of local artists, but obviously our main brand is bringing in international performance, and as Adisa says, United Kingdom, United States, Australia, Cuba are just the sort of a touching where they're coming from this year. So that's the broad part of it. I always think, coming from the UK as I do, that I'm very, very privileged to be able to walk into this little piece of heaven we have here at Holders, that we have here in Barbados. My own involvement's been nearly 20 years now, and I tell you, it's the most exciting part of my diary. Don't tell my friends back in the UK, obviously, but it's a very, very special event, beautifully presented here at Holders, with some wonderful friends amongst the local artists. Adisa is a wonderful ambassador for the arts here in Barbados, and it's very much part of our programme. This year, as Adisa says, we have 6 shows concentrated just into 9 days, covering, as we always do, a real range of different types of performance. So we start off with cabaret, then we continue with jazz, then we go on to classical music, then we have comedy, then we have theatre, and then we end up the whole thing with a mixture of opera, a little bit of circus, and a little bit of pan. Of course, we finish with steel pan and the great Ziggy Walcott and some superstar musicians from Barbados. So it's a great week, but it's an award-winning set of artists that we've got this year. We've got 2 Grammy-nominated artists. We start with Judy Carmichael, our cabaret artist, on Friday night, a Grammy-nominated musician, and our classical night features the classical saxophonist from Australia, Amy Dixon, again Grammy-nominated. Beautiful experience to have her performing for us on the stage here at Holders. And then we also have an award winner from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, Jess Robinson, who's part of our performance on the comedy night next Tuesday 15th. So as you can see, it's a really fine international lineup. But I think it's probably best if I hand back to Adisa at this point, because a feature of every single night at Holders is the local engagement. The fact that we pride ourselves on mixing the international artists coming in with a very cream of Barbadian talent, and probably a good idea if you tell everybody about that.
Yes, as Stuart said, as you know, it is traditional at Holders not only bringing some of the best international talent here, but Miss Kidd makes sure that some of our best artists perform on the same stage as these international artists. And this not only includes the established ones, but artists who she thinks have tremendous potential to go to the next step and just want the opportunity to perform at this level and in such a space. So we opening for Judy on Friday will be Mylon Clark, the sax player, and his quartet. He's a fantastic player. He is destined to become a great performer, ambassador for music from Barbados. On Jazz Night, which features Keon Harrell, who is considered the most sought after jazz trumpeter right now in the United States. And that description came from Wynton Marsalis himself, considered maybe the greatest, one of the greatest trumpeters and most respected trumpeters in the world. So that will be on Saturday. We also have on the theatre night, on the classical night, we have the Barbados National Youth Orchestra String Quartet. And then on the theatre night, which featured the music of Cuba, we bring in the BCC Latin Band, and they would also share that space with Operation Triple Threat. So on that day, I'm saying that the talent of Barbados is going to be showcased through the youth on that day, because the BCC is a sort of young musicians, and the band is something like 14 to 15 in size, multiple instruments, voices, horns, rhythm section, percussion section, and so on. Operation Triple Threat is a wonderful performing arts group run by Janelle Headley. A lot of talented young Barbadians are in that group, and we have, as Stuart said, on the gala night, Ziggy Walker is going to put together a special package. Last year he played here with Mosaic, and people just were blown away, and he standing ovation. He had to come back and for encore. And Stuart requested Ziggy again, but featuring Ziggy. We want to hear him, the talent and skill of Ziggy. So he surrounded himself with some of the top jazz musicians in Barbados, and he will be at the gala as well. So I want to say that holders over the years therefore have been allowing the Barbadian artists, young artists, to sort of evolve there in this space, and it is just tremendous that Barbados, and I want to mention the BCC in particular. Over the last 4 years, the BCC music program have been able to train and throw some outstanding young musicians, and you can almost say that I have been involved in music, I would say most of my life, and I don't think that Barbados ever had such a cadre of young, talented musicians that we're seeing today, all because of the music program at the BCC. I mean, it's just tremendous, right? And it's tremendous for Barbados that we have so many arts festivals, entertainment festivals, like the Holder season and all the festivals nearly every month, which creating the space and the opportunities for these musicians and artists to perform and make a living to some extent, right? And I think that is tremendous. And I think that Barbados is fortunate, and I think just like how incentives are given for other sectors of the economy, I think that the forces that be must put incentives in place to encourage these festivals and artistic development, not only from an artistic point of view, but as I said, giving the opportunity for young dancers and artists to perform. Even if you move away from an artistic point of view, it's stimulating the economy as well, right? When festivals are on, you can't get a hire car, the hotel rooms now are booked, and I just think that the festival culture of Barbados, the festival network, the festival community, right? I think that what we have to do is see ways and means where it could be encouraged, is stimulating the economy, is contributing to the development of the arts, to the growth of culture, also to the prestige of Barbados in the eyes of the Caribbean, even for the eyes of people like Stuart. Stuart has been coming here now over many years. He's almost a Barbadian citizen now, and he is amazed constantly at this young talent that we have. So besides the training, I think also from a technical point of view, therefore, systems should be put in place really to encourage and support the festival network in Barbados, and incentives to allow people to say, no, son, let's have more festivals, because it's not going to only contributing to the arts and to the artistic community, but it's stimulating, as I said, other sectors of the society. Any more questions, Stuart?
I think I've said my piece. Yeah.
Well, over to you.
When is the Cuba night?
That's to do with the theatre. The whole Thursday the 17th involves the Latin band and then the Cuban play, all about Hemingway.
You mentioned that you reduced the performing artists to six.
Six.
Probably more than that. What's the reason? The economy?
Well, there are two reasons. One is particularly that, as Adisa said, actually to concentrate all our performances in a shorter period of time actually gives a fantastic momentum. It'd be fair to say that it's against a background of needing sponsorship, and it's a bit expensive event to put on, bringing international artists. So yes, it's not an easy game, but I think we've decided to focus on the things that we do best, do them over a short period of time, and I think we'll come out at the end of this feeling it was a very good shape and worth making that particular decision.
Yeah, and from a logistical point of view too, I mean, previous then you will have in some instances 2 days between shows, which is a long time, the crew is saying and so on. Once we have it like that now, some shows are back to back and then we only miss really 1 day. So the energy is there. After 2 days and have to come back to all these people say, there's a long break, you should have something in between, right? So what we do, we compact it then within the 9 days, 6 shows within a 9-day period, right?
And you mentioned about the artists as well, the local artists, the ones that are coming out of community colleges. Looking at it, bands and performing artists seem to be on the down low in Barbados. Would this be a fill-up to having local bands?
Yeah, and that is why I said earlier about the incentives. I think that the arts have to be seen now as serious business, and I know that the cultural industries bill is there, and I think that most people need to really study the bill. But I'm going beyond that. I'm talking about restaurants, clubs, and so on. Everybody should be encouraged to contribute to what is going on in terms of the arts by encouraging and creating opportunities for bands. There's a crowd that you don't see bands performing live on the nightclub circuit anymore. So incentives should be given because there are so many musicians. I mean, I am not talking about half-baked musicians. If you study the level, and don't take it from me, of what is coming out of BCC, along with the established artists that have already been here, I know over the last 4 years, they're top class. But we have to create the space where live bands could be part of the scene again, but the opportunities have to be there. And that's why incentives not only to the festivals, but incentives to the nightclubs, incentives to the hotels. When people come to Barbados from Canada or England and go into a hotel, when they hear entertainment at night at the hotel, it shouldn't be no one-piece band, it shouldn't be no two-piece band. It should be the BCC Latin band, it should be Laurie's band, it should be Mylon's Jazz Quartet. They should be seeing the cream, they should be seeing Red Plastic Bag and Yabi. In other words, the space should be created when these people leave Barbados. A lot of tourists come to Barbados, remain in hotel, and they never hear the best local talent. So I'm not talking about the festivals, the clubs, the hotels, the promoters out there to encourage them to even do additional festivals, create the spaces, the entertainment spaces, right, for local entertainment to just continue to strive. And that is what I'm talking about. But you are correct. The club scene is hardly a club scene now, and years ago you could go to a lot of clubs and hear a full band with horns and a 6-piece band, a 7-piece band on the spot. That sort of is on the decline, despite the fact that there are probably more musicians now that are ready to play.